Hello my lovelies, welcome back to this fragrance and vlog channel. Today's video is all about the top summer fragrances for women. First fragrance that is my newest acquisition and I'm so excited about it, and I hope that you will also love the scent. It is the Tom Ford Eau de Soleil Blanc. I already own the Soleil Blanc version of this fragrance, but I feel like for the summertime, sometimes I feel like the other fragrance and sometimes I feel like this is definitely a more brighter version of Soleil Blanc. It's got more airiness to it, more citruses. It smells just fresh and cooling. It still has got this coconutty santon lotion sort of a fragrance in it, but it's much fresher. I also get a bit of this like biscotti note in here, which I don't know why I get it, but it must be like my memories from something, and I absolutely love it. This slight bit of like almondy bitterness, and I absolutely adore this scent. If you want a perfect fragrance that smells like a summer holiday in a bottle, then Eau de Soleil Blanc will do it for you. This is a phenomenal summer scent. You'll just smell delicious but also fresh. This one lasts a good while, but it's not the most projecting fragrance, so keep that in mind. But for this sort of scent profile, it's hard to make it long lasting, and I think in the summertime anyway, I tend to respray my fragrance a couple of times a day, just because I want that freshness, or I take a shower and I apply my fragrance during the day, so it doesn't bother me, but do with that what you will. Next up, we've got a very bright, radiant scent that is also intense. This is a fragrance for gourmand lovers that you just don't want to let go of that gourmand in the summertime. You're just like, oh, summertime, no. This is for those of you, and I'm a bit like that. I'm not, I would say, a typical citrusy fragrance lover. I love my gourmands. This fragrance from Lalique not only has a beautiful bottle, it's also called Soleil, so it's basically the sun from Lalique. This scent is just gorgeous. It's, I would say, in the opening especially, you get a bit surprised because it is kind of a bit green and a bit masculine smelling, I would say, in the opening, but then when it dries down, it really just merges with those gourmand notes. And I think because of that more greeniness that it opens up with, it makes this fragrance still appropriate for the summertime. It lasts, it's also projects a bit more than like the typical citrusy summer fragrance. Oh, it's just so good. It smells a bit floral, a bit honey-like, but all in this gourmand but summer sense. So it's beautiful. It's one of those fragrances that also not everybody will have and own. So if you want to make a real special purchase this summer for you, I really recommend this one. It's so good. My husband absolutely adores this fragrance. Like every time he smells it, he's like, wow. So, you know, that is another pro to this fragrance. Another summer scent, and I always try to just do a little bit of sweet, a bit of fresh, like something for everybody in my lists. And this one is again a different take on a summer fragrance, but it's amazing. It's just as amazing as the previous ones, and it's called Wild Ahila from Jo Malone. And I've put this fragrance, I know it's not typically designer, but this fragrance, the price point, it's £43 for this bottle, and I believe they only released the small bottles of this, so it's basically a designer price point. So I've sneaked this one a little bit into this list. This scent, it's so green and it's fresh, citrusy. It's got a nettle note, but to me it smells like summer in a garden, but like a very herbal garden with really like, I was just like, if I took a leaf and I was kind of like doing this to it, and this green, slightly bitter, citrusy note was coming out of it. This is that. It smells super natural. It's so refreshing, and it's something very different. You just won't smell many fragrances like this for the summertime, and I think the composition, it's just beautiful. So if you like something truly unisex, you don't like your floral fragrances for the summertime, this is green, bitter, herbal, just magnificent. And it's great. Next scent is another one for those gourmand lovers that I was talking about. If you like a sweeter scent, but for the summertime, I would suggest you Olympia Aqua from Paco Rabanne. This one, the bottle is of the intense version, but the Aqua version is perfect for the summertime. They all have this salty marine-like note, but the Aqua version has that even more, but still with that really syrupy vanilla that is all in all the Olympias. I think that salty note in the line, it's just to die for. It's so piercing. It definitely lasts as a fragrance as well, so you won't be disappointed, and it's signature worthy, truly. Like, I have actually had a work colleague friend that she chose Olympia as her signature scent. I was like trying to find her new signature scent, and it just reminds me of her because she wore it and she smelled so strongly every single day. So if you go with Olympia line, Olympia Aqua, you'll just smell really lovely and really strongly this summer, and that's why I love it as well. If you want that longevity in a summer fragrance, it's a real great one. Next up, we've got the new Viktor Rolf Flower Bomb Tiger Lily. I am obsessed with Flower Bomb, and the original is still my favorite, but I think in the summertime it's a bit much sometimes, and this scent is a lighter take on a Flower Bomb fragrance, but it's much more. I smell nectarines in here. It's a bit more white floral. It's I would say not a citrusy fresh Flower Bomb. It's more of a floral, creamy, summery fragrance. So I love that as well, because you don't get that sharpness from citruses. You just get that incredible creaminess that is also amazing for the summertime, because I think it blends with like sweat. I know it's a bit disgusting, but it blends with like the sweaty skin really well for some reason. Let me know if you agree in the comments, but I think it just works in that way. So I love the scent. It doesn't have as much staying power as Flower Bomb, but also for the summertime, I just want a lighter scent, and this is definitely lighter. It's still very beautiful, and it's not too similar to Flower Bomb, so that you're like, oh, I could have just kept my Flower Bomb. This is definitely another sort of a scent, and yeah, I recommend it a lot. Okay, next one, we've got a very tart fragrance, Eau de Rhubarbe Écarlate from Hermes. This is a masterpiece of a scent. You have to apply quite a lot of it, so be liberal with sprays with this one. It just smells like bitter rhubarb with some red berries in there. It's a bit musky, it's very green. It smells simple, but it's just genius in its simplicity. If you want a fragrance that will stand the test of the highest humidity, something that will just cut through it and will make you smell great, this one is an excellent one. It's perfect for like those really hot holiday destinations, and yeah, it's my favorite one from this line, because they've got the basil one, like Poivre Noir and something else, but this is definitely my favorite. Next up, we've got a Dolce Gabbana fragrance, and it's called the L'Impératrice. This one I used to own. I wore it a lot. It's such an affordable, cheap summer scent that smells super fun. It smells of rhubarb. It's kind of a watermelon-y as well. It's got some like this weird, I would say, custard smell to it as well. It's so fun, it's light, it doesn't last a huge amount of time. Again, this is more like a body cologne, but it smells amazing and it's really affordable. Like you can get it for, I think, at least I remember getting it for like £20, 100 ml. So this is a fun one if you love respraying your fragrance and just like spraying a ton of it. It smells great and it's such a distinctive scent. Whenever I smell this one, and I smell this one a lot, especially at the airport for some reason, it must be like a favorite for people to just go through the duty-free and reapply it because it's so refreshing, like when you're traveling. So this one is a no-brainer, just a really nice cheapie, but a goodie. Don't expect like this most natural smell in the world, but it's a great solid one. Next fragrance is very light and airy, and it is long lasting as well, and it's called Tender Light from Estée Lauder. This is the cap. It's beautiful and magnetic, and this scent is so good. It's so positive, smells extremely natural. I am in love with this scent. You can probably tell from my just expression. I just don't know why, because I usually am not into light floral fragrances. I'm really not that person, but this fragrance just stole my heart and I'm in love with it. It's a fragrance that is light and airy, floral, white floral, but with this gentleness, a bit of brightness, a bit of sweetness, and everything is just done to perfection. It's a fragrance that when I just can't wear any fragrance because I have anxiety and sometimes I literally just don't want, I smell fragrances and like, oh, I can't. I don't know if you ever experienced this, but when you're ill, for example, sometimes you can't stand some scents. And yeah, when I have anxiety, there's not many fragrances that I can wear. And this one is one of those that I can definitely wear. I just love it. It's so, so good. Bright, everyday appropriate, but for the summertime, it's just got such lightness and airiness to it. It's incredible. Next up, we've got a designer Louis Vuitton fragrance, and it's Imagination. This is such a nice unisex, bright, citrusy fragrance. It's citrusy but not boring, which is key. It definitely is worth the money. It's got a bit of tea note in there, a bit of neroli. It kind of has this like pool note in there, but a great pool note. It smells like just a bit woody and just radiant and bright. I love it so much, and it's one of those scents that will last also, and it's a scent that is a bit, I would say, like it's hard to find a bright citrusy scent that lasts and it's not boring and it doesn't smell like a cleaner product, and this one is definitely that. If you just like those bright scents but you want something that smells expensive, then this should be your pick, definitely. And another scent that is perfect for the summertime, it is Coco Mademoiselle, the original. I here have got the intense version, but I think for the summertime, this one is just, it won't cut it. I think the Coco Mademoiselle, the original, is just so much brighter and fresher and airier. It's got this incredible light rose, citruses, patchouli, but everything is just so girly and classy. This fragrance is such a classic fragrance. You can't find anybody who would detest it. It's so good. You'll get compliments right, left and center with that one. I certainly do with this intense version that I've got in my collection. It's just a fragrance that gets you noticed, although people know it, but it's still so good. It's still the best seller for the brand, and I love it. I would love to add to my collection the other one as well for the summertime, because the scent profile, it's just incredible. I encourage everybody to go and at least try the Coco Mademoiselle line, because it's just incredible. Applied on your skin, it does magic on the skin. It gets better as it dries down every time. So this one, if you want something long lasting, if you want something that will get you tons of compliments, and that will be perfect, as well as a all year round fragrance. Like, you want your fragrance to do it all, but also be perfect for the summertime. Coco Mademoiselle should always be. Like, Chanel is always a great way to go. Let me know, what is your current favorite fragrance for the summertime? to be designer. Okay, I'll do a niche list, but let's stick to the designer for now. And also, if you want some more life updates and fashion stuff, follow me on Instagram at Monica_Cioch, my channel name, just easier for the spelling, so you can just have it on your screens. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.